Now, your KSBW weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Lee Solomon.
Good evening, everybody. We'll take you through the temps. Definitely a nice cool down, still very pleasant with upper 70s, low 80s up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. The beaches in Santa Cruz, they did get sunshine, but they were one of the only ones, at least right along the immediate coast. Just 66, though, Moss Landing. Still middle 80s, though, Morgan Hill. 81, Gilroy. Lots of 70s around, very nice. 72 in Hollister. Salinas Valley, 80 in King City. 70 here in Salinas, of course, warmer out towards Fort Hunter Liggett, Parkfield, Bradley. They got into the 90s today. 70 in Monterey, 65 in Seaside, and a 75 in Carmel Valley basically rounds it out. Now, the Central Valley still pretty hot. 91 in Sacramento is actually just about average for the date. You get down to Fresno and Bakersfield, they're running about 5 to 10 degrees above average. And, you know, when your average is 95 and you're up around 105, that's not so good. 86 in Tahoe today, 105 in Palm Springs, 73 in San Diego, LA, and Santa Barbara. Can you see this on the water vapor imagery? That's convection. Those are thunderstorms that erupted. And boy, there were a lot of them out there, especially across Nevada. A lot of good photos, I bet, coming from this afternoon. There were some up over the Sierra, too. You see the lightning strikes. Of course, that's the part we don't need. We do like the rain, though, and they are getting some of that, at least in select spots. You'll get some heavy downpours, some hail, some gusty winds, and then those storms tend to move on. So it's limited in scope, but we'll take the moisture any way we can get it. And there might be a little bit of that around the coast tonight. Some mist, some drizzle possible, at least by the bay. We had a little bit of that last night. You'll notice Santa Cruz Mountains will be in clouds. Same thing, Santa Clara and Salinas Valleys, all looking at a solid marine layer tomorrow morning. That should burn off, but again, north end of the bay is going to be your best bet for sun on the beach. Otherwise, hit and miss, partly cloudy from Moss Landing down to the peninsula, including Fort Ord, Seaside, Monterey, around the Horn, Carmel, and then all the way down the Big Sur coastline. Low clouds will be close. They may bounce off the coast a little bit, but they may stick very, very close, again, if you're on the beach. Otherwise, northwesterly winds 10 to 20, but that's in the afternoon. Morning time looks great on the bay, pretty much dead flat out there. A little bit of wind swell, a little bit of south swell for a little bit of surf, but not a whole lot going on in the bay, which is good for the boaters. Rip current risk fairly low right now, and your times of high and low tide there on the bottom of your screen. So you get your low tide in the morning and a high tide there in the evening. For tonight, mid-50s to right around 60, which is usually right where we are during summertime. Spreading inland, those coastal overcast clouds, they will, and we'll end up with them in the morning. 62 to 74, afternoon clearing, lingering though on the peninsula, so do factor that into your plans tomorrow with a mix of 70s and 80s for the valleys and hills. So we've taken the heat out of the equation, at least for us locally. But again, if you're moving and pushing inland in the state, you will see much warmer temperatures in the Central Valley. 66 in San Francisco, 70 in Oakland, 77 in San Jose, 80 in Los Gatos. So again, very, very nice. It is certainly summer-like out there. 78 in Scotts Valley, 80 in Felton, 81 in Boulder Creek, 74 Santa Cruz, 70 in Capitola. And we go from the 60s in Moss Landing to the 70s in Corralitos and Aromas, 80 in Gilroy. Looks like Morgan Hill will be one of the warm spots in the Santa Clara Valley, 75 Hollister with 60s, then into the 70s in the Salinas Valley, and just 80 tomorrow in King City. So you remember when we were seeing those middle and upper 90s, we've taken that down quite a few notches. Around the peninsula, again, back to partly cloudy skies, upper and middle 60s, around 70 for Monterey, 62 Carmel, and middle 70s Carmel Valley, and a 71 in Big Sur. Your KSBW 8-day forecast, pretty steady, so you can pretty much plan on a lot of days like what we had today. I don't see a lot of change. There may be a little bit of a bump in temperatures here and there, mid-60s to middle 70s. Your fourth looks like, as we say, fireworks in the clouds, probably. You know, we'll see when we get there. That's always kind of a game time decision. Mid-70s to middle 80s for the valley, so a little warmer probably over the weekend inland, but not a lot of spots above the 90-degree mark unless you're headed out to the Pinnacles, Bradley, and the spots in the Salinas Valley, but otherwise very temperate and very nice.
Very pleasant.
Okay.
Yeah, and that keeps fire danger down too.
Absolutely, which we need.
All that marine layer. Let's take a look at our weather quiz. Hottest spot in the U.S. today was in which state? California, aka like Death Valley, Palm Springs, Arizona, or Washington State?
I'll go with Arizona.
I'm going with California.
Yeah, it was actually up in Washington State, east side of the Cascades.
I thought they cooled off a little bit.
They did, but inland, way inland.
Oh,
That's
okay.
high desert up there.
High desert,
Yeah.
yep. And that high pressure ridge is still sort of, it's weakening, but it's 114 today. So
Wow.
they beat out all of those hot spots, including Vegas and 29 Palms
In
and all
Washington.
those spots.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty hot.
All right.
Thanks, Lee.
Thanks, Lee.
You